Hi guys, welcome to Code Bashers. In this video, we will be discussing the Revachur interview experience. Now, this interview experience happened on 3rd June 2021. Guys, I have already posted a video of interview experience that happened on 2nd June. So guys, make sure that after watching this video, you watch that video also. Guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel till now, please subscribe it as well as join my Telegram group also. I post regular updates on different companies which are hiring as well as the questions which are getting asked in them. Also guys, recently I got a lots of discount coupons of Geeks for Geeks platform. If you buy any Geeks for Geeks course using that discount coupons, you will be getting a flat 10% off on that particular courses. Now, this discount coupon is given in the description box and it is valid for all the courses which are present in that particular platform of Geeks for Geeks. So if you are interested in buying any of the courses, then surely use that coupon so that you can avail the 10% discount on that courses. So guys, now let's start this video, and before starting the video, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button for this channel. Okay, so the branch of my friend was CSC. The date of the interview, as I told you, is 3rd June 2021. Duration was 20 minutes. Now the technical round questions. So first question again, it was which programming language you are comfortable with. So my friend told that he is comfortable with C++. Again, you can tell any language. You can tell Java as well as Python or C language also. That is not a problem. Now, next question was related to C++ OOPS only. That is, what is data binding? Okay, so binding refers to the process of converting identifiers. Now, what are identifiers? Variables and performance names, and they are converted into addresses. Now, binding is done for each variable and function. It takes place either at compile time or at runtime. So basically, it is a process of converting identifier into addresses, and it takes place at two times. One is at compile time, and second one is at runtime. Okay. So the next question was, what is static binding and what is dynamic binding? Okay, so the static binding happens at the compile time and dynamic binding happens at the runtime. So static binding happens before the, you can say, when is the code is getting compiled, and dynamic binding happens after the code is compiled and it is present at the runtime. Okay, so they are also called early and late binding. So static binding is called early binding and dynamic binding is called late binding. In static binding, the function definition and functions calls are linked during the compile time. Okay, whereas in dynamic binding, the function calls are not resolved until the runtime. So they are not bound until runtime. So what happens is, in static binding, the function calls are linked during the compile time only, and in dynamic binding, the function calls are related to each other at the runtime only. Okay, so next question was, what is a friend function? Now, a friend function of a class is defined outside that class scope, but it has the right to access all the private and protected members of the class. Even though the prototypes for friend function appear in the class definition, friends are not member functions. Okay, so what is a friend function? See, this particular function is defined outside the particular class, and this particular function can access the private as well as the protected data members of that particular class. Now, the prototype of the friend function is declared inside the class, but it is not a member function. Only the prototype of that friend function is declared inside the class. So here is an example of friend function. So this is a class box. You can see that inside the public, there is a function called friend void print with box. Okay, so this is only the prototype of the friend function, and the main definition of the friend function will be written outside this particular class, and this particular function, when defined outside the class, can also access the private data members of this particular class as well as the protected data members also. Okay, now the next question is, what is multiple inheritance? Okay, so there are different types of inheritance that are present in C++. So interviewer asked her that what is multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance is a feature of C++ where a class can inherit from more than one class. Okay, so in this particular inheritance, there are two parents and one child. Okay, so a particular class A can derive features from both class B as well as it can derive from class C. Now, the next certain questions were based on HTML. So first type of questions were based on OOPS. Now the questions are based on HTML. Now, what is a marquee tag in HTML? An HTML marquee is a scrolling piece of text display either horizontally, across, or vertically down your web page, depending on the settings. So you know that the thing that it gets when you open a site and there is a certain text which is scrolling on the window, either it is moving from left to right or right to left or from bottom to up or up to bottom. So that particular text can be moved using this marquee tag in HTML. Now again, there is a syntax where there are opening marquee tag, then the line that you have to move across, then the text you have to move across your web page, and then the closing marquee tag. And you can give lots of attribute to it, that like attribute name, attribute values. Okay, so the next question was, tell some head tags. So you know that our HTML page is divided into parts. First part is head part, second part is the body, and then it is the footer part. Now inside the head tags, again there are many tags which can be written. First one is the title tag. So the title element defines the title of the document. Okay, so what does the title gives? It basically gives the heading of the document, heading of, you can say, our web page. Okay, now the second one is the style element. Now the style element is used to define style information for a single HTML page. So you must have known CSS or JavaScript CSS things, that we are bolding any text, we are making it italic, or we are changing the color, background color of certain images or certain things. So all that things come under the CSS, and that CSS come under this style tag. So I hope the head tags are clear to you. Now the next question is, tag used for creating a table. Okay, so what all tags are used for creating a table, and what all tags are used to put data inside that table? So first one is the table tags, that is the table opening and closing tags. Now this tag is used to make the table. Now then is the tr tag. Again, tr tag is also an opening and closing tag. This tag specifies the row in the table. Okay, now then is the heading tag, that is represented by th. So again, it is an opening and closing tag. Now this tag is for the heading in the table. Okay, the last tag is the td tag. Now this tag is for the content of the table. So tr defines the rows in the table, th defines the headings of the table, and td defines the data which will be put inside those tables, and that table tag defines the overall structure of the table only. Now, the next questions were based on little SQL. Okay, so first question was, what are inner and outer join? Okay, so let me explain you with the help of a diagram. See, inner join. So when we use a join, we all know that we use a join when we have to join two tables, when we have to fetch the data from two tables. So what is inner join? See, there are two tables, one is left table and one is right table. So inner join is that particular join which will give those rows which are common in both the tables, that is either in the left table, which are present in both the table, that is it is present in left table as well as it is present in the right table. So it will give us the rows which are present at the intersection of these two tables. Now the outer join. So outer join can also be known as a full join. Now what it will give? See, it will give all the rows which are present in both the tables, that is this intersection part, and it will give all the rows which are either present in left table and either present in right table. So it will basically give all the rows which are present in both the tables. So I hope it is clear with that this image. Now see, full join can be of two type again. So full join can be divided into left join and right join. So left join. So see, all the joins will give the rows which are present in both the tables. So intersection part is highlighted here, but left join will give the rows which are intersecting in both the tables as well as the rows which are present in the left table. And similarly in the right join it is opposite, it will give those rows also which are intersected, and it will give all the rows which are present in the right table but they are not present in the left table. So this is what the concept of left join and right join is. I hope this thing is clear to you. Now next question is, what is RDBMS? See, first of all, RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Now data is represented in terms of tuples, that is rows in RDBMS. So we know that in SQL there are data is present inside the rows of the table. Now relational database is most commonly used database. It contains number of tables and each table has its own primary key. So we know that inside a database there are large number of tables present which are interconnected to each other, and how they are interconnected, they are interconnected using the keys present inside those tables. Now the next question next is, due to the collection organized set of table, data can be accessed easily in RDBMS. So accessing the data in RDBMS is much easier as compared to different versions. Okay, so the next question were based on the data structure. So first was the difference between stack and queue. So we can see that, see, stack is a vertical data structure. You will put element from top and you will remove it from top only. So it is a last in first out approach, that is LIFO approach. Whereas queue is a horizontal data structure, that is you will be putting out elements from the queue from the front and inserting the elements from the behind. So it is the last, it is the first in first out approach. That is the element that will come first will leave first from the stack, oh sorry, first from the queue. But in stack, it is the element that will come last will be put first outside. So it is a LIFO approach in stack and FIFO approach in queue. Now the last question of this video is what is the real time use of linked list? See, we have used linked list many times. One is the previous and next page in web browser. So we know that we can simply click two arrow buttons to move ahead and behind of the web browser. So there also linked list, concept of linked list is used. So there doubly linked list is used because we can move either ways. Now again the similar kind of example is a music player. Again we can switch between different music. We can go music ahead also and we can come back also. So these are the two real-time uses of linked list. So guys, this was it for this video. I hope you understood every question asked in this video. Guys, if you like this video, please hit the like button as well as join my Telegram group also, because lots of placements are going on and I am posting almost all the placements in that group. So guys, this was it for this video. I hope you liked the video.